The Rangers are up 2-1 in their series against the Panthers, and that's without getting any major production from the Stars who carried them to the Eastern Conference Final. So let's check in with New York Post NHL writer Ethan Sears, who's down in Florida ahead of Game 4, to talk all things Blue Shirts. Ethan, man, thanks for hopping on with us. I know you just got wrapped up media availability, so are there any new updates or storylines from down in Florida?
Hey, Brandon. Well, thanks so much for having me. On the Rangers side, nothing new. They didn't even skate this morning, so if there's any lineup changes, then we'll learn about those in warmups. On Florida's side, it looks like there's a possibility that we'll see Steven Lawrence and Kyle Okposo come in for Ryan Lomberg and Nick Cousins, but that's not confirmed. We don't know whether that's injury related or if it's just a smoke screen or if it's performance based. You know, that's just what we've seen in the morning. So we'll have that confirmed or not at 7:30 here.
Okay, that's something to keep an eye on going into Game 4, which goes down tonight. Big question here. A lot of question marks surrounding the Rangers' big three. Mika Zibanejad and Chris Kreider haven't recorded a single point in the first 3 games of this series. And Artemi Panarin hasn't scored a goal, yet this team is still up in the series. What are Peter Laviolette and those guys saying about this drought, I guess you can call it?
Yeah, well, Mika pointed out when we were talking to him yesterday that, in their minutes against Florida's top line, which is Alexander Barkov's line, they've played to a 0-0 draw, which is true, and it's a fair point by him that they've done a good job of limiting them. But the fact of the matter is they do need to be up the ice more. Those are crucial minutes and crucial players, obviously, for the Rangers. And right now, even if they're not necessarily giving up goals, Florida pretty clearly has the better of those minutes. They've been in the Rangers zone. They've been getting chances. They've been winning puck battles. And, even if there hasn't been a goal yet, Florida has certainly gotten a lot closer to scoring. So, the Rangers, they just need to find something there. They need to get more pucks deep. They need to win more of those battles. They need to be in the other end more, and it's just as simple as that. It's going to be really hard for them to win this series if they're not getting more from those minutes and those players.
Well, we got 2 great coaches on the bench in this series. So is there something that Panthers head coach Paul Maurice is doing schematically that's allowed the Panthers to take those 3 out of the game or games?
Well, I mean, it's nothing different than Florida has done all season. This is who the Panthers are, and this is what they do. They're an aggressive team. They're physical. They're in your face. They win the puck, and they forecheck. They hit you, and they do it all really, really well. This is why they're here. This is why they were as good as they were in the regular season. So nothing in this series is different than what was on the tape. It's on the Rangers to match them. And in Game 2, I thought they did that really well with their physicality. They did a great job winning those battles, and then they kind of struggled to repeat it the other day. A lot of their offense was breakaways. It was sort of the individual, sort of brilliance that we saw from Alexis Lafreniere. And it's great that they were able to sort of steal a game like that. But again, it's going to be really hard to repeat that and do it sustainably if they're not, doing a better job matching that physicality that Florida has.
All right, let's flip it over to the defensive side of things. The Panthers outshot the Rangers 108-44 in Game 3. Igor Shesterkin put on a clinic and showed why he's one of the best goalies in the game. So what's the team saying about limiting the chances of the Panthers? Yeah,
I mean, the Rangers, their mindset and their desperation was on display last game in a really good way. They blocked shots and defended hard, and they did just enough. But again, repeating that, putting that much pressure on Igor, as good as he is, it's a really hard way to win hockey games at this stage. They have to find a way to possess the puck more, to get up the ice. That's their best way of limiting chances, right, is to take the puck away from the opponent and generate some chances themselves. Otherwise, it is going to be really, really hard to win 2 more games in this series.
All right, Ethan, final thoughts heading into tonight. What are we missing when it comes to Game 4?
You know what? I think on both sides, potential lineup changes could be huge. Lomberg and Cousins are not guys on Florida who everybody knows about or talks about or whatever. They're fourth line guys, but that fourth line has been excellent for the Panthers in this series. If those guys are hurt, or if there is a change for other reasons, that will make a big impact. And likewise for the Rangers, I would be pretty surprised if we saw Matt Rempe again tonight, just based on his minutes in Game 3. So, what Peter Laviolette chooses to do with that spot, any other changes he might decide to make as an offshoot of that, if he decides to change up the power play at all, which, we're not expecting, but maybe that's a possibility just based on the fact that the power play hasn't scored yet in this series. Those will all have kind of big ramifications, even if it's in relatively limited minutes, down the lineup. That's something that I'm really looking at closely tonight.
Ethan, thanks for hopping on with us. Stay cool out there, my friend.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks, Brandon.